ADRIEN Brody es un tremendo actor de método que ha llegado a perder 16 kilos y aislarse de la sociedad para interpretar a un judío perseguido en El pianista, pero esto le hizo convertirse en el actor más joven de la historia en ganar el Oscar a Mejor Actor.
ADRIEN Brody.
Y seguramente se lo vuelva a llevar este año, pues después de arrasar en los Globos de Oro, no solo hemos conseguido hablar con él, sino también con el director BRADY CORBET para su nueva película The BRUTALIST, un peliculón que representa el cine que ya no se hace.
I'm not afraid of going to a dark place. You can't act starvation. You can act being hungry, but might as well show up and not eat a big meal.
So the most extreme things you have done for a role, I
like this Kindle. I'm gonna get one. I love it. And it has the map
for reading. Yeah, I mean it doesn't hurt your eyes.
To my iPad reading.
No, you can read with an iPad.
Okay, recording.
Well, it's an honor to be here with you too. I mean, I think this movie it was a timeless masterpiece. But let's start with you, Adrian. In many of your roles, you portray a person in a very dark place. So I would love to know your method for getting into these characters, and also the most extreme things you have done for a role. I mean, I've heard a few things.
I'm not afraid of going to a dark place to represent something that speaks to all of us. Or that represents someone whose voice is not heard, and I'm drawn to complex characters, and there's a lot of beauty in this film. There's a lot of lightness within it. There's surely a tremendous amount of hopefulness and spiritual yearning and upliftment. So the darkness is a part of life. There's too much suffering in this world. I think we can all recognize that and acknowledge it, and maybe that's why that thematically is a focal point for so many artists and filmmakers. And but it's partly out of respect and gratitude, and an attempt to process it. And as far as doing extreme gestures or things that are parts for a role that are required, there've been a number of interesting ones. Often I do things so that I have a better sense of understanding, and so that I'm not forced to act as if I understand something, because that disconnect isn't a pleasurable experience, and part of why I do my work is to take pleasure in the contact and immersion and of a character, and pull myself out of my own sense of being and immerse myself in as much as I can into something other than my own. And certain times you need to do things. You can't act starvation. You can act being hungry, but might as well show up and not eat a big meal, or if you have to express a shift in your body, that you don't rely on CG and other areas. That transformation, that physical transformation, takes work to get to that, and then the physiological shift inspires a whole emotional understanding of that journey, and it's not something I could act and pretend to know. You have to somehow earn it, and it's part of the job.
In this case, I mean, I think I've read that your family emigrated from Hungary, like Laszlo did. Did their experience help you in any way to build the character?
I think my mother and my grandparents' journey of fleeing war-torn Europe in the 50s and immigrating to the United States was invaluable in giving me insight and understanding to this universal longing for home and unfortunate need to flee oppression or conflict abroad, in one's own homeland, and the hopes and dreams that immigrants have in coming to a place like the United States, and the hardships that they face upon arrival and toiling in poverty. This is not unfamiliar to me. My grandparents suffered tremendously, and my mother did as well. And her work also as an artist, having lived through those experiences, has given her remarkable insight and empathy to the world. And I think that too has shaped me and my work as an artist. So beyond what I can contribute to Brady's beautiful work here, and my understanding of Laszlo's lived experience, it's given me context in life and gratitude and understanding of my own artistic path.
Absolutely. And Laszlo's dream is to leave a lasting legacy through brutalist structures. I mean, as artists, do you see any parallels between the process of achieving his own dream and your own journey to success as actors or director?
Yeah, sure. I think that I think legacy is one of the film's, primary themes. Actually, not just for Adrien's character, but also for Guy's character. I think that the film ends on a note which is about, you're left with Adrien's character's niece, who has aged to become a healthy, beautiful adult. And there's something quite powerful, I think, that his legacy is perhaps not only his body of work. It's really his family and and a life that he's been able to pave, for her, and her future is somewhat uncertain, of course, as well. But we're left with her because I think that without Erzsébet's character played by Felicity or Adrien's character Laszlo, that she probably wouldn't be standing before them today at the end of the film. So that's the reason we're left with her.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Thank you very much,
so much, sir.
for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic work.